government entities who keep your data, then the very high focus on data protection. When we talk about like how to kick off the innovation or digital government development, then yes, first there has to be a political decision, because otherwise no point to do or start things or run things if it's not commonly agreed that we will move forward. So top-down decision making. But what is really important is that after this political approval has been made, we bring the implementation down to non-political level, meaning that implementation is done by civil service, and usually if the minister changes, then the civil service does not at the same time, so to provide the sustainability. From paper to digital is meaning that we have better public administration in terms of assigning roles and responsibilities, and also creating better environment to monitor the legitimate use of data. When we talk about joint discussions, then what is really important to first assign the central role for e-government coordination, but at the same time create different committees or advisory boards covering different ministries, also private sector. If the country has a private sector role, usually the private sector is the more innovative and initiators in different procedures, and also engaging civil society, either association representatives or some representatives who would reflect what the citizen expects from the government. So, and via this kind of based on actually more like mission-based or interest-based, more like innovation drivers or visionaries, then get to a joint understanding what is the way forward. And really important, it's not something parallel, but starting from the beginning already this awareness to public sector in general, but also to citizens, what this digital government is all about. What are the solutions? What are the requirements? And during the process of implementation, keeping in mind that we can create digital divide. People, what actually exists in physical world, any people living in far country areas who not commute to even service of, then ideas how to solve this, either temporary desks or like moving offices, meaning that it can be what our banks actually provided as an example. There is a bank bus that is driving to remote areas as well to provide the services equally to everybody. And the same logic should go to public sector or public services as well. And digital is very much supporting it, because if we provide electronic identity and access from remote areas to public, then we make sure that everybody has equal chances for public services, but it is up to them either they want to use it or not. And simplicity in processes, really important is that to provide environment to bring or build knowledge among users, citizens, and also public servants. how to use technology, what is this electronic identity, the security, legal grounds, and also being available not from 9 to 5 as in physical service offices, but the help desk must be available 24/7. Either it is a person or it is via frequently asked questions, for example, to answer or to provide as much information as possible. And the change of mindset that I don't have to go to see an official to get answers to my questions, but public sector is publishing as much information as possible via websites, via media, newspapers, news, different broadcasts, whatever the channel or tool is, but the reverse mindset, we give out as much as possible, don't come to us. If earlier it was like, for every question what I have to go and see somebody, but now it's vice versa. And again, focus on personal data protection. So what is also very important to understand what makes it digital government. So digital by default mindset is the part of awareness raising that if you make things logical and simple, if you make solutions secure, trustworthy, based on legal grounds, legal umbrella, and people start using e-services, then the mindset first, not only, meaning that always I have to think whether there is e-service available, what I can use from a distance, not going anywhere, but at the same time, I have to have a possibility to go and see somebody if I still want to, because this is also a part of mentality. If people, in some reason, they don't want to use digital tools, then they have to get public services anyway. So possibility to go to government office and get it. What I already mentioned earlier is base registers. So we have to have data digitized in order to provide services, and very important to have the most important registers from where the main data comes from. Usually it's population register, business register, and land register. And we have to create strong electronic identity via which we can consume services, and secure environment to run data, because when we talk about public service provision, then we have to, in order to make an order in governance, who is responsible for what. So we have to create this kind of master data rule, which government entity is responsible for which data, and no duplications allowed, meaning that if I need some data in addition to provide my service, I have to have a secure environment via which I am asking for that information to provide my service and to make decision on top of that information gathered. A legal frame for digital processes, so really important to understand that every action we make has the legal grounds. Also, cybersecurity, very often we see that it is taken something as parallel or something we will think about later, but this is really important, crucial piece of the digital government, that we would build secure connections, secure keeping of the data, and also obviously to be resilient for to protect ourselves from cyber attacks. And for that, we have to understand what is critical infrastructure, what we have, and the emergency response team that would react to all different attempts, to understand the attempts, but also to react to cyber attacks and centrally understanding who is responsible and whom to notify when something happens. And based on now European Union level requirements or legislation, what we have, this NIS directive also puts responsibility to private sector companies, so government would know if there are attacks happening towards private sector. So private sector companies should notify when some influential activity happens. Of course, e-services and e-services are usually via different portals. We have one central portal, calling it one-stop shop, like one place to get all your information for different services, and also via the central gate we are then directed to different service providers, because the main thing is that I don't have to know exactly how some service is called, but I have one place to get this information. And really important is trust building. So, and trust building is directly connected to this awareness. So, because we need to have digitally literate people, either citizens or government officials, who know and understand the security aspects, the responsibilities, and the legal consequences when they misbehave. So when we talk about central governance, the approach in our case, there are several approaches, but in our case, we see that it is really important to have centralized policy making, but decentralized implementation. So meaning that we do not have any one huge database where all people's data is together, but we need to coordinate the joint principles and understand how to exchange data. So when we talk about central policy making, then e-government and information society policy planning and monitoring should be done centrally. Then we should have an overview and analyze different ICT systems in government. Then budget planning should also be in cooperation with Ministry of Finance. Usually it is the central coordination. If it is already regulated, then it's under Prime Minister office or under like Ministry of Innovation or a ministry like this. But the budget planning should be done in close cooperation with Ministry of Finance. Then what we should also coordinate centrally is any legal acts and legal regulation related to e-government. And the responsible ministry should also coordinate that this legal act is accepted by the parliament. And when we talk about regulating some concrete activity, it can be regulation level as well, and this is adopted by the ministry. Like laws are accepted by the parliament and regulations accepted by a responsible ministry. Also, the central coordination ministry or institution should also prepare government policies or different strategies, and also when we have the strategy in place, monitor the implementation of the action plan as well, because the whole life cycle of different procedures and the coordination mechanism should be sustainable, not one-time activity, but one concrete institution who is responsible for these central activities. And what is also important is this CIO role or Chief Information Officer role. Usually every ministry has one, but the like digital government topic should be then under this central coordinator role under the CIO itself or the team. When we move on from central coordination to data management, then what is really important to have the conscious knowledge, knowledge about the data, what we have, because the data is always generated, more and more data is generated, and we have to structure it. We have to understand the responsibilities. And when we have updated quality data, then on top of that, only then we can make quality decisions. And very often it is asked that why should I exchange or share my data or give out my data by different government institutions. But here again, we go back to this decentralized solution, understanding that our data is not sitting under one institution because that institution can update their data only when they provide a service for the citizen. But the citizen might not need the service maybe during 1 or 2 years. Then meaning that other institutions who would need that data don't have up-to-date information. So this is why it is really important, again, to understand which institution is keeping what data. We do not keep duplicates, and we scatter the data between different institutions for security purposes as well. So if, let's say, I renew my driver's license, then what this respective authority needs is to check the up-to-date information about my address. So making requests to population register, not using the 10-year-old data when my driver's license were renewed last, but asking up-to-date real-time data from population registry, and also asking from a family doctor this medical certificate saying that, yes, this person is good to drive, but only that small amount of data regarding driver's license renewal. Nothing else, no more medical information, no more information about anything related to my family or something, because this is not what is needed for this renewal of driver's license. So what you have to understand, the really restricted amount of data what is given out to each service provider, only for the service what they provide, nothing more. So if we remember from our old times decades ago that every government institution, just in case, gathered more information than needed, maybe we would need it in the future. It is not allowed today. I know that the time is running really quickly, and we started later as well, and you have lunch waiting, so I'm just skipping some of the slides. But please know if you have any question in between, because I cannot see the full panel here of people attending. But one example of complex service, meaning that one institution, in this case, when we talk about parental benefit, when the Social Security Fund needs to decide I am eligible for parental benefit, they need to interact with 6 other institutions or information systems in order to make a decision on the yes or no, on the amount, and how they calculate it. So meaning that the Social Security Fund is inserting my unique personal code, and automatically, we call it extra service, automatically asking, requesting data from different databases, from the hospital, whether the child was born, from the population registry, whether the child was issued this personal code and exists in the registry, and seeing who the parents are, so who are eligible to request for the service. And then tax board, what was my salary, from Social Security board himself, to understand how many other children there are in the family, because the formula is different. Then, so there are different parties from whom I have to get piece of like this data or piece of information in order to make a decision. Yes, this is your parental benefit and this is the amount. I mentioned this unique personal code. So every person has unique code from birth until death, and after the person has deceased, the personal code will be archived, never reused, meaning that me, as Annela Kiirats, I have one unique code throughout my lifetime, and different data sets in different institutions are linked to my code. So if the same Social Security Fund is inserting my unique, then the response they are getting back from different institutions is only related to that personal code and only that piece of data that is needed for decision whether to give out parental benefit or not. And when we talk about electronic identity, so this is really important to have secure identification and signing solution, and these are 2 separate legal actions. So we can not that only one get to log in and to sign, because these are 2 separate actions. So one, when I log in to any portal, to say that this is now Annela Kiirats who is logging in, making requests to get a service, and the other legal action is to make a decision, so to sign my application or to sign any, I don't know, buying, selling contracts. I sell my house and I sign a contract. So that from security levels, these are also 2 totally separate actions. In Estonia, we have today 3 different tokens, but they are all linked to the same one physical person. So ID card is mandatory document by the law for us. It's a physical card, plastic card as well. So the same as you can see on the right corner here. Then we have mobile ID that was initiated 7 years after the ID card, mostly by business, like private sector and business purposes. So it's more convenient to identify yourself and sign documents using your mobile phone. But this is SIM card based. And the third solution, again 10 years later, is Smart ID. Again, initiated by private sector, because the application is again much more easier, and most of the people use smartphones already. but this is aberration, meaning that it requires smartphones only. So every solution has its pros and cons. So we need ID card reader separately. Mobile ID SIM card based, so some phones do not have anymore, or in the future have SIM cards anymore. And app-based is requires only smartphones, so we cannot ask all our citizens to have smartphones. So again, a country needs to decide which solution is best for them. And when we ask why government institutions need to exchange data, then the one general answer should be provide public services in a convenient and secure way. And for that, we need government-to-government services before we can go government-to-citizen. And the X-Road solution, what is one of the backbone of the digital society, is we do not, as I mentioned earlier, we do not have data in one place. Data is scattered for security reasons. So there is no one single point where you can get all the data. And asking for data is only request-based. So nobody is giving you any information all the time. You can only request for data from some, like any of the government institutions, also private sector institution, when there is a legal need, and only like partial data given for the service what you need. For example, if, as I brought earlier, this example that renewing driver's license, you need some data from different institutions, and then this is the reasoning. Annela Kiirats needs to renew driver's license. For that decision, whether she will get a new driver's license or not, we need to know whether Police and Border Guard have not given any restrictions to say that, no, this is dangerous driver or whatever. From family doctor, that health certificate has been given out, that this is driver good to go. Information also about like whether there is any medical condition that, for example, if I have some problems with the health that I might faint, then my family doctor doesn't give out a medical certificate saying that this is a safe driver. And any other information needed, but only information needed for that service. When we talk about secure data exchange, we talk about like only point-to-point interaction. So one side is asking, sending the request over the open internet, encrypted way. The other party decrypting the request and sending the answer back the same way. So we are using the interaction over open internet, so we don't have dedicated channel in between, but the connection is only created when the request is made. The portal here, what you see on the bottom here, is the central portal via which we can access either as a citizen, as a public servant, as an entrepreneur. And when I choose a role, so I log in as physical person, but when I choose a role, then based on that, I can only do transactions. So when I log in as Annela Kiirats with my electronic identity, inserting PIN code saying that this is Annela Kiirats now who is logging in, and the trust service provider assures that yes, behind that PIN code is that person, and that matches with private keys. And then I get access. And when I choose a role as, let's say, a policeman, then I cannot do any requests as a physical person, as a parent, or if I have another role as a teacher, for example, then choosing a hat as a policeman, obviously I cannot ask anything related to my students, for example. So based on a role I have, then based on that I get my possibilities to make requests as well. And let me see. I think one example would be also important to show is about services. So maturity model, usually the first level is just information. What we have is information on government websites available for us, and that's it. The second level is one-way service. It means that I can download different forms from government website, but still I fill in manually and send them off. Third level is already two-way service, meaning that I can fill in documents electronically. And if I want to submit them, then I need to I have to be authorized to do that. So fourth level is most common when we talk about already countries who have digital solutions available, that it's a citizen self-login. So I have electronic identity via which I log in and get access to and can apply for a service. And also the services are delivered electronically. So this is in case we have secure data exchange existing and electronic identity existing. And now the last and fifth level, the most high level, is proactive service. And this is where these digital societies are aiming for today. So meaning that if people are obliged to a service by the law, then I don't have to even know about this service. So the government should approach me saying that, for example, this parental benefit, congratulations, you had a child and this is your parental benefit. Please confirm that this bank account is where you want us to give the amount to. So meaning that government already has information, and now again turning it around, like I don't have to apply for a service for what I'm obliged to anyway, and government is already providing that to me. And this is what Estonia is currently very much aiming for. Parental benefit is very good example already. I think this is already past 5 years. We're practicing it as a proactive service, and also some other services available. So, and the question, does a citizen have to know what the X-road is, this secure data exchange, what I just introduced? The answer is no, but there is a really good extension to it. We don't have to know exactly what it is and how it functions, but we have to know as citizens that our data is securely handled. Our data is requested by different parties only when they provide service to us. We have to know that there is a transparency how our data is used. I have to see all these requests. Whenever some government entity is requesting for my data, I need to know about it because I'm the owner of my data, and government institutions are just administrators of my data in order to provide services for me. So the awareness and trust building is really important again behind it. So if you can let me know how many minutes we can go over, or should I end? Because I know that it's 17 minutes past already, or if anybody has a question from the audience.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have 13 minutes more to end your section, so maybe we can take some 3 questions.
Thank you very much, Madam Anela.
Yes,
I really enjoyed your presentation and I've learned a lot. My name is Ezra, and then my question is, even though EGIFA and then GHANASIG is doing its best in e-governance promotions, can you kindly suggest ways African countries, such as Ghana, governments, for instance, can ensure e-governance delivers real benefits, such as the digital or electronic identity you mentioned, to people in the rural areas where internet access is limited, and then there are a lot of people with digital illiteracy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So this is also was one of our aims in 90s as well, when we started with this digitalization in general, that in order to not to create digital divide, and there was an initiative we called Look at World, meaning that there was a separate foundation established by the government, because it has a really concrete focus and the activities they do, and very often doing it directly under the ministry, it takes too much time. So this is why we created the foundation. First of all, the aim was to provide computers to all schools of Estonia with internet connection, because the knowledge starts from our children, and the digital literacy, when we start with students, we have so many people in education, different levels. And those students are children of their parents, whom they can also educate at home about this digital literacy. So focus on providing the accessibility. From government side, there should be focus on providing the core infra, that also those rural areas, at least community centers, or in our case, cultural centers, would have internet, or if there is a government institution, local government authority, in their service hall, there is internet connection and computers, and people who can educate ordinary people to use computers, and later on use how to use public services or e-services. The other thing is that you have to focus on electronic identity, because there is no use of providing e-services when you're not able to identify your people or the person who is requesting for service. So then data exchange, in order not to run people between different government institutions, we have to create government-to-government services in one. So meaning that we have to do agreements between government entities, how to exchange data, to create the secure way of exchanging data, at the same time be very transparent, provide awareness to citizens that in addition to this, what we are teaching you, how to be digitally literate, what is e-service, how you can use it, give as much information as possible for them to understand, read, to get information about the digital government as such. So these different phases of awareness raising and focus on simplicity and security. So all services that you provide as public sector have to be secure, and you have to know who is a person who is applying for a service. At the same time, end user side needs to be very logical and simple. So if it's too technical, if it's too legal, if it's too difficult to understand how to navigate, people will not use it. So these are very many different steps you have to think about. But yeah, do not forget security, transparency, trust building, and general awareness.
Okay, thank you so much.
So I can also see one question from Albert. What safeguards are in place to ensure that e-governance platforms uphold data privacy and citizen trust? Yeah, this is why it is really important to have this decentralized solution. Joint requirements to everybody that how you have to keep your data safe. What are security measures? If we go back, I will just for a second jump back to this data exchange solution what I showed you. So the security lies on this decentralized solution. For example, population register, the technology, how you keep your data, this is up to an institution. In order to exchange data, you have to have agreements with others exactly what data you provide and what data you need. And these are very concretely set and legally covered that, yes, this kind of data can be shared. Security servers operate as gatekeepers. So understanding which are trusted partners, so which are the members of the X-Road, with whom you can exchange data. They log all transactions. Yes, that request was made with a timestamp, logging all the transactions. And Data Protection Inspectorate is really important institution who is monitoring that, yes, all these institutions are following the rules. So there are very many different layers and players in the field in terms of data exchange, and really important that there is no one central institution who can see exactly what different institutions are exchanging. The central monitoring here on the photo, the bottom corner, they are responsible central authority that the connections are up and running, but they cannot see the content. At the same time, when my data is exchanged between two parties, I see the log that, yes, about Anna Lagirats, population registry gave out that information to, I don't know, police and border guard. If I do not know the reason, I have legal right to ask. So the transparency for citizens, how their data is used, is really important.
Thank you so much. I think we'll take two more from the house here, then we can wrap up. We have only 3 minutes remaining.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, Sadiq. So my question is about Africa adapting e-governance, looking at the nature of our employment structure. So how are we going to balance efficiency and job losses? Because if you look at most African countries, most of their jobs are created by government, and essentially the job is not really a job, but those people are there to also help the economy in a way. But with automation, some of those jobs are very replaceable, like easily displaceable. Like we can easily displace those people. But looking at our economy too, it is also not a good thing to let most of those people go. And if they don't also, we don't also let them go to, it also affects the efficiency of the system we are putting in place. So how can we balance that in Africa and try to see?
Thank you for the question. So this is very often asked, and we have understood that sadly very often the decision on digitalization is put on hold because of this, like the fear that people will now lose their jobs and automatization will take away all our jobs. First of all, this digitalization process creates lots of new job positions. It's a matter of reskilling, and this is also a responsibility for the government to take that the reskilling methodology is implemented, and because like if we take some processes, like I take some examples from different countries and where we go and see how, like, I don't know, registration of a person to a new address is done. There are 7 different people who do some step, but the step in between, it doesn't have any value. So just to keep a position. But in terms of keeping the budget under control, so it's not the aim of like keeping as much civil servants as possible just to do something, but we have to also be efficient in our spendings as well. So, and this is also really important for the economy. So those people who do their step that creates no additional value might be used either in another department by doing something else. For example, this digitization of documents, lots of data inserters are needed. So this is something that needs, again, reskilling. You need to start to learn how to type. You need to have information system created where to put this the information from. Sometimes we also, for assurance, we need to scan documents. Different decisions are needed. We have to start rethinking the need for governance processes.
Okay, thank you so much. So we take the last comments, then we close for this session.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, my observation is that with e-governance, it will take a while for Africa to catch up. We are doing our best, putting up infrastructure and introducing services. What research has shown is that it's introducing another layer of intermediary because of, number one, low level of literacy, and then low level of digital literacy. So it's not only about rural, urban. We have urban illiterates and urban digital illiterates, and this cut across everywhere. Let's look at some of our services like passport application form. There are even people who are secondary school graduates who are not able to fill these forms. So you have to depend on an intermediary to help you. And that also introduces the issue of privacy that, like we discussed in the previous section. So there's a lot we have to do at various levels by educating people. And I want to believe that from this training, each and every one of us is going to take a tax, take leave from your work, just go and train a group of women at the Medina market. The last time I visited that place, a woman said someone lost 300,000 cedis through mobile money fraud, because you have to give the phone to someone to help you transfer the money, and you surely have to share your PIN code. And there is also the gender divide there. Most women have to depend on their husbands or children. So the woman does not have financial privacy. The husband has to be aware of how much money you have on your mobile app if he's going to help you transfer the money. So these are all issues. So as we've heard examples from the West, I just hope that in the next 10, 20 years, we'll be able to catch up. We are doing well. The services are there. And just to also say that I'm open up for a lot of research opportunities to see what actually is in there in the community than sit at the table and make decisions to implement without knowing what is on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Because of time, we wouldn't be taking any question again. And Madam Anela, we would like to thank you so much for your time. Maybe you can give your final remarks before you leave.
Yeah, I just wanted to say also that indeed this basic digital skills and cyber hygiene, it is really important to provide as constant campaigning either by the government or with the help of private sector. We had lots of help from private sector because private sector needs that digitally literate people to consume their services. Example for banks are really important. So never give away your PIN codes or your devices with what you make transactions. It's the same like a house key. You don't give it to a stranger then just go and take whatever you want. It's the same with your PIN codes and with your tools that you operate with. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. I hope you got some good ideas and hope that we can be more helpful to Ghana than only 1 hour session per year. But we will come up with some ideas maybe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, we can be more helpful to Ghana. The e-Governance Academy can, together we can do something great. And please, the participants are asking the ways they can reach out to you. Is there any way? Madam Anela, are you there? Okay, I think maybe she's gone. So I think thank you so much. We really appreciate you as well, and we will keep in touch. That was a great insight to share with us. And,
yes, I'm here. Sorry, yeah, just I was muted. Yes, I'm here, and whenever we can be helpful.
Okay, so a participant is asking how they can reach out to you. Is there any way you could provide?
Yeah, it's like. Let me just, I had my contact also on the last page, just quickly to share it with you. So yeah, this is my email address, annela.kiirats@ega.de, so feel free to contact.
Okay, thank you so much. So please, we would like to just take a quick picture with you, so you can just be on the screen like you are now beautifully. We're going to take a picture with you. So participants, please let's come forward to take a quick picture. So all this space is for you. Please, let's do it quick. Just a quick one. Please, let's do it quick. Mr. Privacy, please join us. Okay, so we are ready now. Smile. Let's smile. Smile. Oh. Okay, madam. Thank you so much for your time and for always being with us for the past 6 years. We acknowledge that and we are very grateful for your time as well. See you.
Sure. See you next time.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.
Okay, so are we okay? All right, so some maybe a few comments. Okay, so please, what's the next session? Okay. After that. Okay. And then who is the speaker? Okay. And what's the time? Okay. She doesn't joke with her time. Exactly 3 she'll start. And when she starts and she doesn't see anybody, she will ask. She's the ICANN fellowship manager, so she's always on time. So I just want to beg. However, we'll manage. Let's manage. Lunch is already ready, okay? And then at least before 3, yeah, you should be seated, okay? So that we can start, all right? Okay, so thank you. Yes, she will just...